In this recording, I'll show you how to design a matching layer which is based on Chebyshev polynomial. This is also known as Chebyshev design. You might have studied Chebyshev polynomial, but I'll probably give a quick introduction to Chebyshev polynomial and then we'll proceed with the design process. In the previous slide or lecture, we saw that matching section can be represented as a polynomial. If there are n sections, then it will be an nth degree polynomial, and gamma n is given by summation n equal to 0 to capital N, gamma n e to the power of minus j to n theta, and theta is represented in terms of f by f naught as pi by 2 times f by f naught, and gamma n itself is eta n plus 1 minus eta n upon eta n plus 1 plus eta n. And we had chosen the 0 locations to be at the same place, and therefore we got a design called binomial design. We also called it maximally flat design. Today we are going to choose a different polynomial. That polynomial is Chebyshev polynomial. Are you familiar with this figure? Well, if not, nothing to worry about. Chebyshev polynomial is represented by the symbol t of x, say t1x, that is the first order Chebyshev polynomial, represented by the blue line, which is a straight line. It's a linear polynomial in x, and t2x is a quadratic represented by the red curve here, and t3x is a cubic polynomial represented by the orange curve in the figure here. What is very interesting about Chebyshev polynomial is if the value of x is between minus 1 and 1, that is mod x is less than 1 or less than equal to 1, magnitude of Tnx will be less than or equal to 1. That is, if the value of x lies between minus 1 and plus 1, the amplitude, the magnitude of Tnx will be between, or the value of Tnx will be between minus 1 and 1. And another interesting feature is when x is equal to 1, Tnx will be 1. When x is equal to minus 1, Tnx is either plus 1 or minus 1 depending on the order. If it is an even polynomial, even order, then it will be equal to plus 1. If it is an odd polynomial, it will be equal to minus 1. Tnx for x mod x less than or equal to 1 can be represented in terms of trigonometric function as cosine of n cos inverse of x. For mod x greater than 1, the story is slightly different. For in this region, mod Tnx is always greater than 1. It could be greater than plus 1 or less than minus 1, but the magnitude, the mod of this will always be greater than 1, and it goes to infinity. And Tnx for the region mod x greater than or equal to 1 can be represented by a function cosine hyperbolic n cos hyperbolic inverse x. We will be using these results in the near future. Are familiar with this figure? Yes, this is what we call as performance specification. Our objective is to achieve a maximum reflection coefficient gamma m over the band of frequencies, and its value of gamma m will be equal to so value of reflection coefficient is gamma m at f is equal to fm. And we also specified that theta equal to pi by 2 f by f naught, and theta m is pi by 2 fm by f naught, and fm by f naught is 2 theta m by pi. It's very straightforward. Now, when f is equal to f naught, theta equal to pi by 2, pretty obvious. When f is equal to fm, theta equal to theta m, and when f is equal to the right edge of the frequency, theta will be equal to pi minus theta m. Therefore, we want to have a response with reflection coefficient less than or equal to mod gamma m over the theta ranging from theta m to pi minus theta m. That is our objective. So for that, we choose x is equal to cos theta upon cos theta m. What will happen under this choice? For x mod x less than or equal to 1, cos theta times secant theta m magnitude will always be less than or equal to 1. Convince yourself that this is indeed correct. So by choosing this transformation between x and theta, we have been able to achieve our objective that the polynomial in the theta space will be restricted to plus minus 1 if theta ranges from theta m to pi minus theta m. That is in the desired range of, so design domain of theta. So mod x less than equal to 1 corresponds to theta between theta m and pi minus theta m. Now we are ready to specify the reflection coefficient in terms of Chebyshev response. What's the meaning of that? Gamma n theta as a polynomial gamma n e to the power of minus j to 2n theta summed over n equal to 0 to capital N can be represented in terms of a Chebyshev polynomial of degree capital N, which is a e to the power of minus jn theta tn secant theta m cos theta. Now we choose n, we'll come to choice of n little later, but let's suppose we specify like this and ask the question, what happens when theta equal to 0? When theta equal to 0, we have the right hand part, the last part here reduces to a tn secant theta m because theta is 0. And we had earlier convinced ourselves that gamma in 0 is eta L minus eta naught upon eta L plus eta naught. Therefore, we know the relationship between A and other parameters. Eta L, eta naught known to us. Capital N we have chosen. Theta M is specified. Therefore, we know A. Once we know A, we can substitute and get the value of magnitude of gamma n theta as this equation here. Longish equation, don't want to recite it. Now what's very interesting is the maximum value of this happens when theta equal to theta m. It's very straightforward to show that gamma m is eta L minus eta naught upon eta L plus eta naught 1 upon Tn secant theta m. Remember this is a very useful result. We'll be using this result. And you can also write Tn secant theta m therefore in terms of gamma n as eta L minus eta naught upon eta L plus eta naught times 1 upon gamma m, magnitude of that. This will be used to specify the performance metric, which is gamma m, in the next slide. So we take this result which we have shown earlier and we're going to specify the ripple level. This is happening over the window where the ripple is restricted to plus minus 1 or x is between minus 1 and plus 1. Now what happens when x is greater, mod x is greater than 1? Tnx is given by cos hyperbolic n cos hyperbolic inverse x. Notice at x equal to 1, the value of Tn specified by the left equation here must be equal to value of Tn specified by the right equation here. It's continuous at x equal to 1. Therefore, we can write cos hyperbolic n cos hyperbolic inverse. What is the value of x at x equal to 1, which corresponds to theta equal to theta m, is secant theta m equal to this quantity right here. These two are equal when x is equal to plus 1 or theta equal to theta pi minus theta m. That's how we get this condition here. And once we know this condition, we can write the value of secant theta m straight away, just double inversions there. And you can also know that relationship between delta f by f naught and theta m. This result long time back we had studied, probably in the last lecture. Go back and revise that, and we are pretty much ready to go. Gamma n is given by eta n plus 1 minus eta n upon eta n plus 1 plus eta n. And since we know that ln of x is approximately given by 2x minus 1 upon 2x plus 1, we can write gamma n as half ln eta n plus 1 upon eta n. This is a good approximation. I would like you to convince yourself that this equation, this approximation is indeed correct. With the application of this approximation, it's almost, you can see that this result comes out here. We just have to take that, divide both the sides by eta n, and the result is visible to you. Now with this, we are ready to take a design example. Once again, we choose the same example of the previous case, which is eta naught is 376.73, eta L is eta naught upon square root of 2.25, and gamma m is 0.01, that's the maximum acceptable reflection coefficient, and delta f by f naught is 0.8, that's the fractional bandwidth. If I choose n equal to 2, I get my gamma n as 0.04 as we see from the picture here. So I get n equal to slightly higher number, which is 3. I get gamma in as 0.0135, that's the value, but what we want gamma as m is 0.01, so we have to increase the value of n by 1. So n equal to 4 gives me the desired result of 0.004, which is less than 0.01. Now what's very interesting is, if you see in the pass band where the ripple is less than equal to 0.0044, we have a equal-ripple response. Unlike a maximally flat or a binomial design where the worst case reflection coefficient was seen at the band edge, here we are able to see the worst case reflection coefficient all across the band in the form of ripple. And depending on the order of the polynomial, you will have so many zeros sitting in the reflection coefficient. N equal to 4 has 1, 2, 3 and 4 zeros. And this is also gives a response, the desired bandwidth and desired reflection coefficient with only 4 sections. In the maximally flat design, we had to use 6 sections there. Yes, in that sense, this is an advantageous, this is a better polynomial to use. There are a few more intricate things here. What I did not talk about in this video lecture today is, after synthesizing the polynomial, how to get the values of eta 1, eta 2, eta 3 up to eta capital N, and also the permittivity and other properties of those dielectric slabs. That I did not discuss. I am going to leave that part as a thought for you to work on.